What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Dark Previews, and in today's video, I'm going to take you through 6 of my best bets on this upcoming slate of the WNBA. If it's your first time checking out the channel, you need to subscribe, and this is why. Quick recap on the last video. We went 6-2 on my last WNBA video, and it was a relatively sweat-free day for most of our winners. Cash Brianna Stewart over 11.5 rebounds and assists. Caitlin Clark over 33.5 points and assists. Satu Sabali over 16.5 points. Nyeka Ogwumike over 25.5 points and rebounds. Dawana Bonner under 14.5 points. Jackie Young under 13.5 points. So 6 out of the 8 picks. Another profitable day. What more could you ask for? So I've got another 6 bets to share with you today. Let's go. If you're interested in checking out Outlier, 7-day free trial in the video description below. It is the best tool for all your sports props. I am telling you, I've been using it since February this year, and I've been reigning in the money. So check it out. It's a 7-day free trial. Quite a few games on this slate. I don't have a bet on every single game, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. But knowing me, it probably will. We're looking at the Liberty versus the Mystics first, and this is a must-win game for the Liberty. They got the links right on their ass. The Mystics have also been excellent, winning 7 out of their last 10 games, and they're currently holding that last spot for the playoffs. So this looks like it could be a preview for the first round of the playoffs. We'll see. Either way, I think the Mystics can keep it close enough that this Liberty team doesn't rest everybody after halftime. But let's talk about it. First pick that I have is for Sabrina Ionescu. And I know she hasn't been playing that well as of late, but bear with me. I like her over 2.5 three-pointers made in this game. Now, we're drinking a fair bit of juice in this one, but the probability of this hitting is high. Now, she's covered this line in 13 out of her last 20 games, and she's covered this in 2 out of her last 3 games against the Mystics. In terms of the matchup, the Mystics, middle of the pack in terms of three-pointers made allowed, but I've dived a little bit deeper and there's more reasons to take it. So the Mystics allow the 4th most three-point attempts, and they're the 3rd worst team at defending spot-up shooters. Outside of Sabrina's work in the pick and roll, she gets a lot of open looks spotting up. Her volume is great. Check this out. 10 three-point attempts per game over her last 10. Her last game against Minnesota, she just shot 2 from 12, so I'm expecting her to bounce back. Her last poor shooting game like this was probably against the Aces, where she shot 1 from 9. Look what she did in that following game. She bounced back very well, 4 from 6 against Dallas, and she only played 25 minutes in that blowout. The Mystics have kept all 3 games with the Liberty relatively close, so I don't expect a blowout here. But even if there is, if Sabrina's going to take 8 to 10 attempts, this is going to cash. For my next pick, we're looking at Jonquel Jones, Johnny Bones Jones, and I'm taking it over 1.5 three-pointers made in this game. Now, this is a very positive play in terms of cash flow. Plus 152. If you're talking about plus money, doesn't get much better than this for a straight bet. I love plus money. Now, John Bones Jones, she's covered this line in only 5 out of her last 20 games. It's a 25% hit rate. So you're probably curious as to why I like this bet in the first place. So firstly, this matchup is ideal. The Mystics, bottom 3 in defending spot-up shooters, plus they allow a shit ton of attempts. It's part of the reason why we're taking Sabrina. But I've done a deep dive here on Jonquel Jones. I've crunched the numbers. And against the bottom 3 teams at defending spot-up shooters and in three-point attempts, Jones is over this line in 7 out of her last 10 games, averaging 2.1 makes per game. What also gives me a bit of confidence is that she's smoked the Mystics from deep in their 3 matchups this season, 4, 3, and 3. So we've got a great matchup. I get she hasn't hit it very well as of late. We've got a great matchup, though, and she's smoked this team in the past. So give me Jonquel Jones over 1.5 three-pointers made at plus money. We're now rolling into the next game. We're going through the Sky versus the Dream. And the first player that I want to look at is Jordan Canada. Where is she? Here she is. And for Jordan Canada, I like her over 5.5 assists in this one. I think this is a great buy low spot for Canada, who's gone under this line in 4 consecutive games. Prior to this, she was consistent as hell. She had gone over this line in 12 out of 14 games. Now, her matchup in this one is excellent. The Sky, they give it the 3rd most assists. So this is actually the easiest matchup that she's had since that last game against Dallas, where she racked up 10. So even though she went under in her last 4, 3 of these games were very difficult matchups for her to get these assists. The Sky, easy matchup for her. What gives me some comfort, she also recorded 7 assists against them last time. earlier this season. So she's done it against them before. The matchup is great. And the sportsbooks have been kind to us by dropping that line to 5.5 because it's normally at 6.5 in her line. And if you look at her numbers, a lot of the times you wouldn't be brave because a 6 appears to be her ceiling most of the time. But at 5.5 with a great matchup, it's definitely something I can fuck with. Our next pick, we're staying in the same game. And I like Tina Charles in this one. And I'm looking at her points prop, over 16.5 points for Tina Charles. Now, she was an absolute wagon to bet on a few weeks ago, especially towards the end of August. But as of late, her form's been somewhat patchy. She's covered in 6 out of her last 10, averaging 18 points per game. Now, her matchup and the opportunity is what I love the most about this bet here for Tina Charles. The Sky, they do allow the 5th most points to centers this season. They're without Angel Reese. Camila Cardoso's banged up with a shoulder injury. She still might play, but banged up nonetheless. Now, they're bottom 4 in defending the post and bottom 4 in points in the paint, which is where Tina scores most of her points. I've run the numbers, and against the teams bad at defending the post and who give up a lot of points in the paint, Tina Charles, she's covered this line in every single game, averaging 20 points per game, provided she plays more than 30 minutes. Now, she's over in 2 out of 3 games against the Sky this season, scoring 22 and 19 points. The difference between the 2 games where she did cover and the one that she didn't, minutes. The 2 games where she went over, she played 30 plus minutes. Now, this dream team, they've also got their own injuries in the front court. Let me quickly show it to you. So, look how many bigs they're missing. Parker Tyus is out. Rupert hasn't played for a long time. So given the injuries to both of the teams in the front court, I think Tina's going to get her opportunities. And I think she gets close to 20 points, if we're being honest with you. So jump on and take the over for Tina. 16.5. Let's go. Pumping the brakes real quick to make a very quick announcement. I've partnered up with Boom Fantasy. And what's amazing about their app is their pick and spin feature. All you got to do is make a 2-pick entry and spin. Every time you spin that damn wheel, you get a chance to multiply your winnings by 500x. Now, the lowest multiplier that you could possibly get is 2x, which means the worst payout you could receive is double what you would have been expecting. Look, it's really exciting, and you guys have to check it out. So sign up using the code DAFT or use the link in the video description. Let's go. So there's one game that I didn't go through, and that was the Lynx versus the Sun. Now, I didn't skip it intentionally. Oh, I kind of did. But the reason why is because I don't have any bets in this game. This Minnesota team and this Connecticut team are excellent defensively. If I was going to make some bets, it would probably be around the unders. But then the players I would even consider taking unders have had excellent performances against the team they're about to play. So it's quite difficult. But one player that I do think is worth talking about, because she might be a popular pick on the board, is Brionna Jones. So I've been betting on Brionna Jones points and rebounds for a very long time. But I found a reason not to bet it today. But I do have some analysis because I was close to betting it. I thought I'd share that with you guys. So 22.5. As you can see, she's covered this in 7 consecutive games. She had a difficult matchup against the Aces, still cashed. So at the start of this whole run, her line once upon a time was at about 18.5. It's now up to 22.5. This Lynx team is great defensively, but their soft spot is down low. They're ranked in the middle of the league in defending the post game. The risk in this play, and the reason why I'm not betting it, is that the Lynx, they rank 2nd in the league for points in the paint allowed. I've run the numbers for Brionna Jones, and against the top 4 teams in the league for points in the paint allowed, she's under this line in 9 out of 10 games, averaging 15.8 points plus rebounds. Now, she's yet to face any of these teams during her hot streak, so I wouldn't bet her under because she is playing great right now. But what I can say is this matchup is difficult as hell, and the line is as high as it's ever been. So there's enough risk for me not to bet it, and I thought it might be worthwhile to share that all with you. All right, jumping into the Aces versus the Storm game real quick. At the time of recording this, there are no props available for the Storm players. And I also don't like these Aces props enough to bet them. So I'm going to wait for the Storm lines to be up. If you're interested in seeing what bets I end up placing on this particular game, make sure you sign up to my Winnable. Speaking of Winnable, that's where my VIP is. But for this upcoming set of games, I'm going to share another set with everybody who's on the free plan. So if you're interested in checking out the set, which means there are straight bets, there are parlays, and there's some risky stuff in there too, jump onto Winnable, sign up to the free plan. You don't have to pay a damn cent, and you'll get a set of my plays, which means you'll get all my straight bets on this video, and you'll get some riskier stuff as part of that. VIP will get absolutely everything, but I am trying to share more of you guys who are on the free plan. So Jump in, check that out. Links in the video description below. So we're headed into the Mercury versus the Spark. Now, pretty meaningless game if you ask me. The Mercury pretty much locked into the 7th seed, and the Spark, they got the worst record in the league. But despite this, I still managed to get 2 bets in this game, so let's talk about it. First one that we're taking today is Rickea Jackson over 16.5 points. Now, I bet her over the last time that these teams matched up with the Mercury. Her line was set so much lower than it is today, but I do still love this matchup. Now, she's over in 7 out of her last 10 games, averaging 18 points per game. Right now, she is the focal point of the LA offense, and her matchup against a weak defense is excellent. She loves to score on spot-up shooting, and the Mercury, second worst team at defending these. She's also played the Mercury a few times. Check this out, 3 times this season, 9, 14, and 22. It's only getting better. But since she made the jump and started playing full-time starter minutes, this is the type of damage she could do, 22 points. I remember watching that game. I think she scored 16 points or something in the first quarter. So they did eventually slow her down, but the matchup is great given how weak they are offensively, this Mercury team. No clear Copper, so that weakens them a little bit more. They don't necessarily have the size at her position, the length or the size to slow her down. So I think she's going to get the looks whenever she wants. At the moment, she's loving these mid-range fadeaways, and she's been hitting it at a great rate. So Rickea Jackson, I do like her over. Another pivot there is I was considering her points plus rebounds. Now, as of late, her rebound numbers haven't been all that consistent. But against this team, the Mercury, she's rebounded extremely well. So 7 rebounds in their first outing, 6 rebounds in the second, and then 6 rebounds again in the third. So points and rebound is another pivot. But for me, I'm pretty old-fashioned, keeping it simple, just taking the over in points for a Jackson. Next pick we're looking at, staying in this same game, and I'm going with the old girl, Diana Taurasi. And I like her over 14.5 points in this one. Now, I love this line, especially given there's no Kalia Copper. Now, Diana Taurasi throughout this season, you could catch her at 14.5 points throughout the year, many times, sometimes even lower, and that's with Kalia Copper in the lineup, but no Copper here. But we only have a small sample size of Diana without Copper this season, 2 games to be exact. Her most recent game against the Sky, she scored 25 points in that game and took 20 shots in 28 minutes, right? The ultimate green light. The game prior to that against the Connecticut Sun, she only scored 7 points, played 25 minutes, took 10 shots, struggled. That was a difficult matchup. For those of you who watched that video, I was always leaning towards her under anyway. But they're the only 2 games she's played without Copper in the lineup. In terms of matchup, this one is so much easier than the last team she just faced. The Spark allow the 4th most points to guards. They're not good at defending the pick and roll, and they're not good at defending spot-up shooters. And those 2 things is exactly how Diana scores her points. They're bottom 4 at defending above the break. Diana scores more than half of her points from there. So with no Copper in the lineup, I think Griner's going to be the focal point, the number 1 option. She's going to draw a whole lot of attention in the paint. And I think Diana's going to have the green light to just chuck it up. If she's not chucking it up, I think she's going to find some open looks as well. She should take at least 15 shots in this game. I've run the numbers on the season. Diana's taken 15 plus shots in 5 games this season. She's covered this line in 4 of them, averaging 20 points per game. I think the main risk in this play is that, I'll say it again, this game doesn't mean that much to the Mercury. But then again, neither did that last game against the Chicago Sky. Diana played slightly less minutes than you probably expect her to, but she took a whole lot of shots anyway. So without Copper, I think usage rate is the main selling point here. Diana Taurasi over 14.5 points. Take it to the bank, boys. If you made it this far into the video, I thank you. I appreciate you very, very much. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this new layout. I did spend a little bit of time putting it all together. I think it makes it look more professional, but I want to get your opinion on it. So let me know in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the brand new layout? But I'll catch you guys in the next one. I appreciate y'all. Peace.